and I want to welcome you to our SNAP and Double Up Food Bucks training for rural farmers markets. I'm Deborah Soley. I'm the one who's been emailing you it's nice to put a face with a name sometimes. And hopefully I've not emailed you too much, but we are really appreciative of you taking the time tonight to learn about these programs. These can be crucial parts of any market to help make them accessible to everyone in a community. But we also understand that logistics of offering these programs at markets can be very challenging. So today, we're going to be hearing from staff from various organizations who are here to help and provide some of best practices that will help avoid at least some of these challenges. So I wanted to just highlight a few of our folks who are in the room who are a part of this planning process. Angeline Wang, who just put in the chat, she just waved. She is our tech guru, so we much appreciate that. Martha Marfaleño is from Buffalo County Community Partners. Raise your hand there, Martha. Jamie Fowler is also from Golden Hills RC&D in Southwest Iowa, so we're happy that she's here. We also have various speakers, and I also want to mention Jada Ruff from Buffalo County Extension is here. Buffalo County in Nebraska. So we will be covering overall MarketLink SNAP opportunity, SNAP EBT opportunity to accept at your farmer's market. Then we will break into breakout rooms based on the state that your farmer's market is located in. So we'll have Nebraska, and we will also have Iowa. And in those rooms, we'll learn about double up food bucks specific to those areas. And at the very end, we'll come back together to hear from a farmer's market manager who has successfully implemented that. So I just want to go ahead and turn it over to Whitney, and I'm going to share screen. From MarketLink, Whitney Butler is our regional representative for Nebraska and Iowa. And I'm so excited that she is here today to share a little bit more about what they have to offer.
Thank you so much, Deborah, for the wonderful introduction. Yes, I am Whitney Butler, and I am the regional representative of the MarketLink grant program for the Midwest and Mountain Plains states. And in a nutshell, this grant program is here to help farmers and farmers markets accept SNAP cards as a form of payment. And just making sure we're all on the same page. SNAP is also sometimes referred to as EBT and was formerly known as the food stamp program. And yes, thank you again so much, Deborah, for hosting me today and allowing me to share information on this grant opportunity. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so MarketLink is not a company or organization itself. It's a program of the 501c3 nonprofit, the NAFMNP, and that's the National Association of Farmers Market Nutrition Programs. It's a mouthful. The NAFMNP has members across the country who mostly work with the WIC and seniors vouchers programs, but they created the MarketLink program to help with SNAP on the ground for farmers and farmers markets. And this program is made possible through USDA grant funding. It first became available in 2013, and the grant has life cycles, so MarketLink has had to apply for it a few times. So you might be familiar with a different iteration of the grant. We were most recently awarded funding last September. And so USDA provides our funding. And then we are partnered with a company called Novo Dia Group, who has developed an app called Total Pay Go. And this app works similar to Square. It's a point of sale app that allows you to accept SNAP cards using your smart device. So the MarketLink grant covers the costs of accepting SNAP through that Total Pay Go app for 1 year. And I'll show you more on the equipment here in a few slides. Next slide, please. Okay, so the MarketLink program provides more than just free SNAP equipment. We have a team of regional representatives across the country that are here to provide free technical assistance with everything you see here. So we can help you with the grant's eligibility assessment, which just makes sure that your farm or farmer's market is eligible for free equipment. We can help you with the USDA's SNAP Retailer application, which is required for any business or farmer's market that wants to accept SNAP payments. And I'll tell you more about that process here in a few slides. And then if you are already SNAP authorized, or once we get you SNAP authorized, we'll help you understand what your options are for SNAP equipment out there. Whether you're eligible for the grant equipment or not, we can give you an idea of what options you have. And finally, we're here just to answer any questions you might have about accepting SNAP at your market. So anyone is welcome to send us an email or book a phone call to just run your questions by us. We certainly don't have all the answers, but we do have a lot of experience in this field, and we can, chances are we can connect you to some really helpful resources to help you determine if this makes sense and how to make the most of your SNAP program. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so who is eligible for the free equipment? The USDA determines who's eligible, and so you have to be either a direct marketing farmer or a farmer's market. The USDA does have very specific definitions of what those are, but for farmers markets, that's usually very straightforward. The only situation that might be in the gray area is mobile markets. So if you're unsure, if you don't have, it's not a traditional type of farmer's market with multiple vendors setting up, at the same location on a set schedule, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you determine what the USDA is going to consider you. So yeah, who's not eligible for the free equipment anyway, if you're not a farmer, farmer's market. If you've received equipment through a state-sponsored program, some states have funding to provide free equipment. So if you're using their equipment, you can't utilize the MarketLink grant at the same time. So no double dipping. And that piece there that says you're not eligible if you've received equipment since October 2019, that is no longer true since we just got this funding last September. The USDA decided that everyone is eligible to apply for additional funding. So even if you received the grant in the past, you're eligible for another free year. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so let's talk equipment. So we call this a bring your own device program. And what that means is that you'll just need your own smartphone or tablet to run that Total Pay Go app on. It can be someone's personal or business device. I do always recommend for farmers markets, if it's possible, if there's an extra, tablet laying around, that you designate that for the market for this purpose. And my reason is that if it's someone's personal device and they're not there every market, it can be a little hectic to move the app from one device to another. It can be done, but you have to go to the Total Pay Go website, deactivate your old device, activate the new device, and you just don't want to be doing that right before the market. So if possible to have a device just for this, it just needs to be running Android 5 and higher or iOS 12 and higher, have Bluetooth capabilities, because that's how your SNAP card reader is going to connect. And that's that little black box to the right of the phone there. That's what you'll receive as far as physical equipment. And that's the grant covers that, and that's yours to keep. And then to run the Total Pay Go app, you are going to need either connection to Wi-Fi, a mobile hotspot, or a data plan on that device. Even the busiest markets use less than 1 gig a month, so it's a very minimal amount of data. And if you do a data plan, any phone carrier will work. So the MarketLink grant, what it provides is that free Bluetooth card reader, and then it pays for a 1-year subscription to the Total Pay Go app. And once that free year is up, to continue using the app, it's a subscription fee to Total Pay Go. So for farmers markets, it probably makes sense to do their monthly subscription is $19.95 a month. You can turn that on for just the months you need it. And brand new to this new iteration of the grant, the USDA has decided that if you do at least $500 in SNAP sales in your first free year, then they will pay for another free year on the app. So that is usually very achievable for farmers markets. We're really excited about that. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so before you can even get equipment, you do have to complete the USDA's SNAP Retailer application. And this will authorize your farmer's market to accept SNAP cards. Now, if your market's already SNAP authorized, then you're on to the final step in our grant program of getting equipment. But if you need help with this, or if you're not sure about your market's authorization status, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you dig into that. This is a general overview of the process. It is an online application that you do through the USDA's website. It's only about 5 pages long. It's going to ask questions of, general contact information. It'll ask about the organization that's sponsoring the market. So if there's a, LLC, nonprofit, a government entity running the market, or if it's volunteer run. Then you'll also have questions about what kind of products are available at the farmer's market. So if you have your ducks in a row, it usually takes us between 20 minutes to an hour to fill out. And that's the first part of your application. The second part, number 2 here, is uploading what they call your supporting documents. So that'll depend on what kind of organization's running the market, what they require. In general, they require a photo ID for each responsible official, and there's a signature page. So you upload those to the USDA's website, and that completes your application.
I'm doing ready.
And from there, the USDA will actually start reviewing your application. It usually takes them like 4 to 6 weeks to process your application. And during that time, you want to keep a close eye on the contact information you gave them, especially the email address, in case they reach out for any additional information requests. Those are usually very basic things that they're asking for, but they'll have a deadline to respond. And if you miss their deadline, then they will withdraw your application and you have to start over from the beginning. So it's good to do this in this time of the year if you're less busy. That way maybe you have hopefully a little more time to track this, to hopefully lead you to number 4, which is getting approved. The USDA will email you when you're approved, and they'll send you a packet in the mail. And that's going to have what's called your SNAP permit. And that's good for about 5 years. So you want to make sure that that's saved somewhere safe. They'll also send you more information on the SNAP program rules. Make sure that you know how to get your program up and running. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so that SNAP application process, it can turn into a pain. We always highly encourage that, even if you don't plan on using the free equipment provided by the MarketLink grant, we also offer free assistance with this application. So we would be happy to help you with this. If you go to our website, apply to the grant, when we email you back, we'll give you options on how we can help you with your SNAP application. The first option is if you want to fill it out on your own, we will send you a step-by-step guide that walks you through the whole process. And it'll tell you, based on what kind of business is running the farmer's market, or if it's volunteer run, how to, work through the application, upload the right documents, and then we're here, of course, if you have any questions along the way. Your second option is to have us submit the application on your behalf, which we highly recommend just because we do this all the time. We know what the application is asking for and what potholes to avoid. It's not overly complicated, but since it's a government form, the language is a little wonky, especially from the lens of a farmer's market. So it usually is a smoother process if you have us apply for you. Also, the other benefit is that we can track your application through the whole process. So, once it's all been submitted, we'll take over making sure that if they ask for more information, we'll get back to them really quickly. And that usually gets you approved a lot faster. So for that option, you would just book a phone call with us. We'll send you a list of what information to gather. And then during that phone call, we'll have the application up on our computer. We'll fill it out with the information you give us. And then afterwards, we'll send you a Dropbox folder for you to share those documents, which we'll upload to the USDA. And then we take over tracking it until it's approved. So if you're, would like more information on that before you apply for the grant, feel free to reach out beforehand. Right, next slide, please. So yes, how to get started, whether you're, ready to apply for the grant or you're just looking for more information, you go to our website at marketlink.org. There's options to, read more about what our grant program provides, as well as to book a phone appointment. Or if you prefer to email us your questions directly, that's where you can reach us. We also have a lot of resources on there with the most common questions we get about how to accept SNAP, specifically for farms and farmers markets.
I hope everyone has learned a lot, and I'm going to turn it over to Martha now.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Candy Bench, who is the Kearney Area Farmers Market, who is from the Kearney Area Farmers Market. Candy is a co-owner of Littletown Gardens with her husband and Gibbon. They actively participate in several farmers market, and she was very instrumental in bringing SNAP and Double Up food bucks to the Kearney Area Farmers Market. So Candy, can you share with the group just a little bit about why the Kearney Area Farmers Market started accepting SNAP and Double Up food bucks, and then just share maybe a few of the challenges and also the benefits to accepting SNAP and Double Up food bucks?
Sure. I would say probably the most important thing about accepting SNAP and Double Up food bucks at our market for me on a personal level is my husband and I were on food stamps back in the day when we had kids, and fresh produce was absolutely something that we would have never been able to afford, number one, because it was just a luxury item. But there was also a stigma to shopping with the food stamps. And with the Double Up food bucks program, it gives the customer the opportunity to shop in a setting that wouldn't normally be available to them, number one. But also it doubles that shopping money, and it requires that they purchase fresh fruits and vegetables, so they can use their SNAP to purchase meat and bread and other homemade local things, which, let's just face it, homemade is so much better for you. There's none of the crazy preservatives and things. But then they also have that extra money that's not coming out of their budget to shop for the vegetables and the fruits that they wouldn't normally get to buy. And so that's how it became a heartbeat for me. And we were producers at the farmers market, and I had originally started the SNAP application process just to be for our farm, because I wanted to be able to make that available to customers from our level at least. And then I learned about the Double Up food bucks program, so I took it to the rest of our board, and I spearheaded getting it into our Kearney market. And thank goodness for Buffalo County Community Partners, otherwise we would have never been able to get it all together. So it just is, God puts those people in the right places at the right time. So steps to get started. I I did not utilize MarketLink to help us get our SNAP or FNS number. And for anybody who's on here who doesn't have it, I would advise that you do. It's not terribly complicated because I'm completely technologically challenged and I did make it through it. So anybody, if I can make it through it, anybody can make it through it. But it would just take off the stress and it would take off the unknown for you if you utilize MarketLink. And having a community support to help you front the first expenses is important too, because I would say you do need to utilize having it can be somebody's old smartphone, but you do need to have a dedicated smart device for running at your we call it our market manager's booth. You need to have that available for your Double Up Food Bucks and your SNAP. And we also implemented accepting credit cards for our market. So we have credit card bucks and we have SNAP bucks that all go through our market stand. It has increased our sales on both counts. I don't think our SNAP usage has increased as much as I had hoped that it would, but with getting the word out, I think that it can get better and better. And we did have some customers who were coming to the market who were delighted when they found out that they could use their SNAP there, because they had been shopping for the vegetables and then they found out that they could double their money. So that was very helpful. Let's see, what else? We do not use the wooden tokens. We were in contact with the Lincoln Sunday Market, and they were the ones who kind of mentored me through, and the Omaha Farmers Market Manager was wonderful help to help me understand the steps and all of the equipment that we would need to make this work. We had market bucks printed up on cardstock from our local printer because it was significantly cheaper than the wooden tokens. And then we have an embossing stamp that we stamp with our logo into the print so that we can authenticate it, so that we know that it's not forged. But I mean, who's really going to go to the effort to forge a farmer's market buck, right? But on our SNAP bucks, in the bottom of the page, it kind of looks like money would, you know, it's got the dollar amount in the corners, and then it has our logo. We have that there's no change given on our SNAP bucks, but our credit card bucks, they can give change. And so we educate our customers each time that they use their SNAP, their EBT at the stall. We educate them that when they are shopping with the producers, that they won't be able to get change. So they will need to provide their own change or shop up. So. Is that clear as mud, or?
That's great information, Candy.
Some things that you would need to keep in mind when you go undertake this is there is data collection that you have to do for the grant purpose, but also we found that it kind of helps us as a farmer's market if you're going to write for grants in the future. This is a little simple thing that we learned at the Lincoln Farmers Market when we need to do the, what's it called, the demographic study. We just took from the entrance of the market, and we count the people coming in for 10 minutes each hour, and then we'd multiply that by 6, you know, and that just gives you a running guesstimate of what your population is through your market at a given hour during the year. And we just started to figure out how to do that this year, and getting a list of the data that Vanessa would need for you to involve in your implementation of your program. then you can have that on a spreadsheet, and it will make it simplified for you to fill it out. It's not complicated, especially for someone who has any kind of computer skills at all. You just need to know the information that you need so you can have it all in the same spot when you're collecting your information.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Candy, for sharing. I believe Angeline was also going to share a little bit about her experience. If you guys have any questions on anything that Candy shared, you can put it on the chat, and then we'll make sure to follow up with you with the reply.
Oh, can I say one more thing, Martha?
Yep, go ahead.
For reimbursements, how it works at the Kearney Farmers Market is we have a little coupon. The producer fills it out, and they write down how many $5 bucks that they're turning in and how many $1 bucks that they're turning in. We do reimbursements on the first and the third Saturday of the month. The producers fill that out. They bring it to our market manager stall, and then our intern counts it out, makes sure that it's right, and we write a check to the producer. So when you run the SNAP EBT, it's automatically deposited into your market account, and then you have to reimburse the producers. We have a couple of producers who need their reimbursements more regularly if they get over $50. So we're not a big market, so we're able to do that for them. I know the Lincoln market, you turn in your vouchers and then you get a check issued the next week because the market manager needs to put it into their computer system and things like that. So doesn't have to be terribly complicated. It's just thinking through what would make a smooth system for your market. How we've gotten it out to our market that we accept EBT. Again, that's by working with our community groups, Buffalo County Community Partners, and we also applied for maybe a cooperative grant at the time. We got some billboards that we were able to post around town. We got one printed up that's in the front yard of our Hilltop Mall location that has it right there when it has our market dates and times that we're there. It also has that we accept EBT. And we also had some flyers printed out that go out with WIC participants, and we distribute them to the local food banks in town. Some posters that we took around town and put into gas stations and community boards. Leg work, but not terrible. You find out that the community is much more supportive than you would think they would be.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing I would add on to that, just to help folks get over the stigma of shopping with SNAP and at a farmer's market, because there is a stigma about farmers markets that they're more expensive, that they're, not what you would typically shop at. And I wish that weren't so, but it is. One thing that happened years ago at the market, and at Candy, it's good to hear you talk highly about the Omaha Farmers Market. That's where I used to work. And the system that you have set up is set up very similarly. So I hear what you're saying, and I'm glad it works out for you too. And I'm glad they were helpful. So one thing that you can do to loop in with a community group like Candy's suggesting is to invite the folks, and you would need help. You're not issuing the SNAP cards, but find out how you reach out to these folks that are on benefits, and schedule a couple of dates during your summer season where you have a tour of your market. And it can be small if you have a small market, but you could walk them around, introduce them to farmers, which is so vital to keeping a market going. When a customer knows their farmer, that's how you keep your market going. And that's really all it takes. I've seen it time and time again. So the tour idea came from Big Garden here in Omaha. They had some money. They're a nonprofit, but they had some money to to have a trailer that had a little stove and a fridge and like a nice countertop to chop up veggies. But they basically walked a group of people around the market, bought from several different vendors, and then they went back to the trailer. They did a cooking demonstration. They gave out a really sweet little gift bag that included a local foods cookbook. It could even be a few recipe cards, whatever you've got readily available. And then include, maybe if you could, give them like $5 to start with. That way you just throw them to the wind and say, here you go. But sometimes that's what people need. They need a little bit of hand holding just to get over, at least 2 stigmas. Maybe there's more, depending on where your market's located. But something like that, where you loop in a community group and are welcoming, I think is a great thing to do. And it doesn't have to be big. You don't have to cook. You can just introduce folks to 5 veggies that maybe they don't see every day, right? We have a lot of unique veggies in this area. So, and I'm happy to help with questions. I know the market from the managing side. The other side is a little bit different to me, but what Candy was talking about, I know more about that process. I jokingly said in the Iowa breakout room that you kind of become like a banker, and you do,
Yes.
and it's
Yes,
great
you
to have
do.
a process. I know that at the Omaha market, several farmers were like, why is it only twice a month? I need this money now. I need to go buy seed or whatever it is. So yeah, great to have a streamlined process that makes sense for a manager, whether you're paid or not, especially if you're not paid. It can take time. I love the tallying up idea because it's easier. And when a vendor is tallying up their tokens or their printouts, whatever, I forgot what you called them, Candy, it's less sorting for the manager. Let's pretend there's only one that's going through all those bags of tokens and things. So love that idea. I'm glad it's working for you, Candy.
You all were godsends. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I definitely know that I'm not smart enough to invent any kind of wheel. So I go to all of the inventors to help me along.
I think that motto is work smarter, not harder, Candy.
And I will just reiterate, I say this a lot, but you will see these types of programs except in more urban areas, but we really are wanting to see it expanded into our rural communities. And that's part of what today is. But Candy and the Kearney Area Farmers Market has done that very successfully. Atlantic has done it in Southwest Iowa. So it can be done, and it can be very beneficial to your community. So, and then I think, Martha, we were going to go ahead and wrap this up as we're coming to a close.
Yes. So thank you guys again for joining us for this online webinar. It's been great to listen from all of our speakers. So thank you all for joining us. Deborah did put on the chat a link for a post survey that's going to take less than 3 minutes. So if you guys can take the time to click on the link, take the survey, we would really appreciate that. And if you guys have any other questions that you can think of, or just like throughout your night or the next couple days come up, you can email Deborah, and we'll make sure to send all of the presentation slides in a post email and then reply back to your questions. And I'm just going to put her email in the chat as well for any questions. But thank you guys again for joining us. Have a good night. Stay warm.
Good night.